normally you have to go and you have to start the player off, the young boy or girl, and start them off with the basic fundamentals of the golf swing and teach them how to swing and move and hit shots. But at that stage when Rory was 8, he actually had a lot of this. So what I had to do is I was starting further up the line than I normally would with a young player.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I did was I looked at Rory's swing and I saw, you know, all the good bits in it. And what I decided to do was, you know, make use of those and say, look, you know, he's got, look at his stance and his alignment and his grip and his ball position and his swing, all the things to do with it, and try and sort of tweak them to the way I thought that the swing would best work around Rory. And that's what we started to do. Strong grip really in his left hand. The right hand was okay, but that with young people sometimes works to their advantage, where when they're young they might need that little bit of extra feeling of strength in the left hand. And I told him all along for the next few years that at some stage he would have to change that grip, because it was very much over. We call it like a motorbike grip. It was really well over with the left hand.
Left hand.
Yeah, so I told him that I'd have to change it at one time. And I think he played with this. And normally when you see somebody with a grip there, you would imagine the ball's going to go left. But if they haven't got enough swing speed, they can usually hit it straight. But with Rory's technique and the way he was able to develop, I knew that that would be a problem at some stage. But it was actually, you know, Rory knew that he had to change it. So when he became, I think it was about 12, 11 or 12, he came to me one day, he says, I think maybe we should change my grip now.
Really?
Yeah, you know. And I said, yeah, well, I mean, it's about time. It's a good idea. You get stronger and you're hitting the ball further. So it's going to be a disadvantage to you if you keep your strong grip over there, you know. It was too far over. So he did change it there at that stage, yeah. He would have had a very, very high left arm at one time. And in fact, both of his arms were nearly straight at the top of the backswing. You know, his left arm and his right arm were very high. And, you know, young fellas like that, you just say, well, I've got to teach it back down towards your right shoulder a little bit. It's too much on your right ear at the top of the backswing, you know, the left arm. So we did things like that. It worked a lot in his rhythm, because he had a very quick rhythm at the top of his backswing in the transition. We changed that so it was more smoother, you know, from the top of the backswing to the start of the downswing. Yeah, that was changed as well. And he always had a very strong leg movement into the downswing. At one stage it was, you know, very, very pronounced. But we kept that. He always liked to have that push down into his left side, so we didn't really change it. You know, we didn't rub it out completely, really. What we did was just change it so it worked, and to his advantage now it gives him quite a bit of power, and he still likes to feel that he pushes down into his left side, and he gets quite a plunge down into that. You know, he really grabs the ground with his left foot. Things like balance, and from an early age we got him to make sure that he held his position at the finish, you know, pointing his right shoulder at the target and holding his position. So that's followed through into today, where you can see one of his trademarks is that he holds a really nice balance finished in the golf swing. I suppose in terms of, if you look at how the body worked, you know, there was very, very stable. You know, there's very little leg movement in the backswing, and his upper body turned to a point, and it didn't go too far past the 90 degrees. His hands and his arms reached that point at the same time as his shoulders, and everything moved down very graceful and very much sequentially correct. And there are swings that we like to look at which are very much like that. And also the timing, the rhythm, everything was really, really good then. What we did for those years was just make a check on the backswing, make sure that the takeaway was not too outside or inside. Any little glitches that there were, we just fixed them. There wasn't too much to go wrong really then. It's always a work in progress, I feel, with a player like Rory, because Rory likes to play different shots. Rory just doesn't stand and hit one shot all the time. He likes to move about, he likes to play fades, he likes to play draws, low and high. So with something like that, the swing can change a little bit. So, you know, it's not like we're up against any big problem or anything, we just have to try and work with it. And I always like to work with Rory at the time. If he said, I'm hitting it well, leave me alone, well then we just do that. Yeah. The balance that Rory creates in his swing and how he holds his finish is a great thing, because that in itself, if you look at the picture of the finish of the golf swing, sometimes I would have tended to teach people from that position, from the finish, show them how to turn their hips, lift the right foot, face the target, and then bring them back to impact. So what I do is then get them to make a little backswing and then go to that position.
Okay.
Try to, as soon as you feel that you've hit the ball or cracked the ball or hear it, get through to that finish. Learn how to finish properly and face the target. You know, and that's a really good tip for anybody starting off, or a high handicapper. I came across so many people in my life who tried to keep their head down.
Just to the top, you lifted your head. Keep your head
Yeah, but that's nonsense. I've videoed thousands of people, and it's very rarely I see anybody's head coming up before impact.